Welcome to Fundgini.com podcast show. I'm your host Sushmita Nanivdekar and I'm a podcaster. With Fundgini.com, I conduct podcast interviews of experts across the globe. And we bring you stories of entrepreneurs, investment bankers, enterprises. Through this show, we wish to help entrepreneurs who have successful running enterprises and are now looking to go global and grow their business. Fundgini.com is exclusively helping enterprises primarily for funding, branding and scaling up. So today on my hot seat, I have a very enterprising person whom I know since a decade. He is a pro networker, a visionary leader, a mentor to many with more than 3 decades of global experience. He is the founder of ICX Pro, which is a professional networking platform to attract, interact and transact business. It's an ecosystem which has more than 50,000 global experts, startups, scale-ups, professionals, and it is also a wonderful platform for alliances happening between the members. Whereas Fundgini.com is a global marketplace for debt, finance, equity funding, mergers and acquisitions. He is also the co-founder of Paramount Realty, which is a boutique realty firm based in Pune for land, commercial and residential properties. So let's welcome our guest, the founder of Fundgini.com, Mr. Shashank Pradhan. Welcome Shashank to the show.
Thank you Sushmita for having me. Thanks.
Great pleasure. He is also my mentor and also he is on the board of Gyani Customer Solutions, which is my boutique firm. So Shashank, going ahead with Fundgini Podcast Series as we have discussed. So what exactly was the idea behind this startup?
I'll step back a bit. As I said, you talked about ICX Pro as a network. So it started in 2010. During that period, there are about 50,000 global experts and startups and scale-ups and growth organizations. So during the process of advising them, one of the common problem which I noticed is with the entrepreneurs is the fund. And the whole idea was actually it began with a couple of organizations whom I was advising. They needed funds, so that journey began there. It continued with getting introduced with investors, investment bankers and consultants. And the realization was actually there is a need of a common platform wherein which can actually accelerate this requirement of fund of entrepreneurs who are seekers. On the other side, investors are looking for unique opportunities, exclusive opportunities to invest into, and investment bankers are actually looking at the trusted and good deals, continuous deal flow coming to them. And that was the continuity of the deal flow is coming from ICX Pro global network. So that goodwill which is there in ICX Pro as a network actually continued giving fresh deals to the investment bankers and consultants.
So I understand there is a very huge ecosystem for so many years going on and it is going strong now. So can you also help us out, what is the working module behind Fundgini?
Yeah, so work methodology is simple. What we are doing is in ICX Pro we help entrepreneurs, if at all they are not fund ready, then we help them with valuation, business plan creation and pitch deck. That is the basic minimum which is required when you actually get into a first call along with whether it is investors or investment bankers or consultants. So that is one thing which we prepare them. As far as Fundgini is concerned, once you are either with our help or directly ready with the teaser deck, it's a subscription based model wherein you subscribe and post your funding requirement as simple as writing a otherwise you would have written a mail. So there is a subject, there are details and there are attachment. It is as simple as that. And why subscription is there was an observation during this entire 2-year initiative that people are not serious unless they pay some kind of a money. So small money is paid. So there are serious stakeholders actually participate in this.
Absolutely.
So that's step 2. Step 3 is we have expert deal maker team, deal maker and deal accelerator team. What we do is we bring up the deals to the right investment banker or investor or the community towards which the deal maker and deal accelerator team works. And that is again done in ICX Pro as a organization, wherein some of the investment banking partners we have, wherein we actually have their back-to-back agreement with them. The seeker will directly talk to the investment banker. They will agree or disagree on the kind of deal they would like to do, what is the percentage they should be paying to the investment banker. Once they decide, the step one is once the deal is on the portal, what we do is we run it through the 1,000 ecosystem partner, through which there are about 100,000 investors. These ecosystem partner run it through their investor community, take a in principle interest in that particular deal. Basis that interest, they go back to the seeker and then they communicate the percentage, they agree, and then they sign off the mandate, and then it is taken forward, it goes into multiple calls. Now this particular part which I explained you about is generally applicable for equity, it is applicable for mergers, acquisitions, even exits. Okay. Now apart from this, actually there are businesses who are not looking at equity or mergers and acquisition. There are organizations who receive orders and they have a requirement of working capital. Now it could be project finance, it could be your bill discounting, it could be your export finance, or there are many instruments available including deal restructuring. So there are 20-25 plus instruments. It includes NPA. It includes people are actually having some trouble. So our ecosystem partners actually get engaged with the entrepreneur and help them through the entire process professionally. Now this entire foundation of Fundgini.com is on ecosystem partners. So we understand very clearly that it is the professional investment bankers who come from either very pretty large, the consulting big 4, big 5 consulting organizations, those who have actually, it's a global network. In addition to that, what we do is we have a weekly call, as I said, for last 105 weeks. And the investment bankers, the consultants, the seekers and investors, they come in the call. This is a global call which is attended right from Australia to UK to US to Middle East to India. There are deals, not only India centric, these are deals which are happening from US to UK, UK to Europe to any place. Goal is very audacious. We want to actually be kind of LinkedIn of funding and finance. That is the objective which we have. That is the foundation of Fundgini.com.
Great. So people who are listening to this audio as well as seeing this video, please understand that Fundgini.com is actually a matchmaker, the right kind of matchmaker between the fund seeker and the investment banker. So for friends who are listening and also seeing this video, please log into Fundgini.com for more details. So coming back now, I would also like to know who are the stakeholders currently, Shashank.
See, from the platform usage perspective, if you really see, there are 4 key stakeholders. One is the investor, second is the investment banker, third is a fund seeker, and fourth is the influencer network or consultant network, which includes CAs or media companies and so on and so forth, who are actually trusted advisors to the entrepreneurs. So that's a key stakeholder usage in terms of Fundgini.com. As far as our team is concerned, we have Chaitali Kadam, who is actually a chief business officer. We have an office in Pune, she operates out of Pune. We have office in Mumbai. We have a team of deal maker. Swanand Oak is leading that deal making team with a couple of team members who are part of this team. We also have Tanmay Gavas, who is actually business manager. Tanmay and Chaitali have been actively worked on creation of the platform in the current state. Okay. Fundgini.com not only is looking at debt, be equity, mergers and acquisition. We also have started a initiative for MSME segment, which was highly impacted during pandemic. So we are closely working with MSME segment to enable them with their needs of working capital, be it project finance, as I said, or be it finance even in the difficult scenarios. We are attempting to help them to the last T in terms of ability to get funding. So simple point here is what actually Fundgini.com does is, for an entrepreneur, it gives a complete opportunity for him to seek investors across the globe. Okay, your next investor could be somewhere in Chicago or in Africa or any place. Yeah. So that is the kind of a matchmaking we do. So that's on the Fundgini.com as on today.
Great. So what is the takeaway when someone approaches you on the platform or becomes a member of Fundgini? So any particular thing we add to them once they come to our platform?
See, primarily what we do is, it is not just about coming and subscribing and getting the funding and finance. Generally we go through each of the presentation. We actually try and understand the enterprise organization, and basis that we take them to the right stakeholders.
Great.
Okay, so that is one of the most important parts. Second is we just don't bring them to the platform. Thereafter there is a inner circle call wherein it is being accelerated actively. So it is week on week basis, new deals are presented in the inner circle call, and during the week actual meeting takes place, and again next week we take up the next fresh new deals and try to.
So it's an entire step-by-step process.
It's a continuous.
It's a hand-holding actually for the entrepreneur when he comes in, he approaches for with his pitch deck and everything. So you actually, what I understood is like we hand-hold them at every stage wherever it is in their process, whatever they are looking for.
In fact, not just entrepreneurs. Okay, what we do is we handhold even the investment bankers. Okay, in the areas and subject matter which we understand. We also handhold the investors. Okay, so the ethos which is originated from ICX Pro is a trusted global network wherein we will try and do the deals very transparently, is what is actually inherited. And we have inherited the goodwill coming from ICX Pro as a network.
Specific advice you would like to give to the current enterprises who are coming up, because now currently we are also seeing, we have been hearing news, unicorns are coming up, so India is buzzing with MSMEs and things like that. So any particular advice, because you have a huge expertise in many sectors, many industries you have worked, so something you would like to
before we go to advice part, I would like to actually quickly talk on Fundgini roadmap. By being into IT segment or a technology segment for about 30-35 years and having closely worked with the next gen technologies, what we are doing is we are in the process of adopting be it RPA, be it chatbot, be it AI deep learning for matchmaking. We are in the process of adopting NFT and metaverse. As on today, the offering which we have is what we are doing today is a video podcast. Okay, so importance of video is you are able to actually cover and communicate to a large segment across, and you can increase the reach. And the point is actually when you get a lead which is a pull lead, the conversion is better. That one. Secondly, we have offerings such as video pitches, podcast. We have web series in association with One OTT. We have Fundgini Awards. More importantly, we have Fundgini Academy in the making, wherein there are content-driven experts can put their content and they can actually do a shared revenue model. That is second. Third is everyone is actually going towards NFT and metaverse. Nobody can escape that. So we have a very clear roadmap of going to NFT and metaverse. Because that is going to be a new way of deal making, wherein avatar of any of the stakeholder will actually go and meet the avatar of the other stakeholder which is looking for, do an initial handholding. Of course, that actual deal making and funding happens out of the platform. So we do not get into the actual money transactions because then it is a lot of country-wise governance come in picture. We want to stay away from that. We do not want to get into that. They are expert on their areas. What actually the gap is, or what they really need in the processes, rather than advice, I'll actually put it like this, that during the journey since 2010, I was closely associated with at least 2,000 or 3,000 startups, about 4,000 or 5,000 scale-up companies, and actively participating in that. So one of the things which I saw is we ought to actually leave the entrepreneur and their team doing what they are doing. They are good at that.
Yes.
What is missing link is actually every entrepreneur is actually looking for fund, or if he gets a fund, he will be able to scale up his business.
Yes.
And if there is a funding, safety net is available, somebody can actually double, triple, or even go 100x. That one. Secondly, by taking advantage of the ecosystem partners and ICX Pro experts, today's world is alliances world. Absolutely. So you are able to actually, instead of reinventing the wheel, you can actually get into alliances. You can, if you are good in a domestic market, you can actually look at scaling up in a global market. If you are a global organization already, or somewhere in US or Europe, and you are looking at entering Indian market, we do have partners who can take you to the remotest village possible. So it is a bridge which is available, and to cross the bridge you require the funding support. So that is something which is one of the things which is a focus area as far as Fundgini is concerned.
Great. Just last question before we wind up is, can you little bit enlighten us with Reginite? What is Reginite?
Thank you. So what I saw is, or what everyone knows, that in India alone there are about 60 million MSME segment. Globally it is a huge segment, and who got impacted the most is the MSME segment across the globe during the pandemic. And there is actually a need of so a lot of these organizations are 15-year-old, 40-year-old, or any organization which is say 5-year plus. They had certain revenues. In pandemic there was an impact. Probably their even credit ratings are impacted. Now they have orders, but do not have money to execute that. So that is where we are trying to help through our ecosystem partners. Even if it is a NPA organization, our ecosystem partners will be able to take a look at that and help you structure the debt. So one thing which I saw in the entire journey, entrepreneurs are good at doing what they are doing, but they do not have a financial literacy. And this financial literacy actually, the cost of their finance and what not to do as far as finance is concerned, that is one of the key concern, and which translated into the impact during the pandemic. So that is one area where our ecosystem partners will be able to help them in the journey. Go to expert rather than doing what you are doing the way you are doing, because you have been doing this for 15 years, 20 years, yet you got impacted. So there must be something wrong. So what is that wrong? Let us go and ask an expert rather than applying our own mind. Absolutely.
I truly understand, because I myself have been an entrepreneur for the last decade, and I know what journey it is. So it's a lonely journey also, but I think if you take the right kind of support, right kind of mentors help you, plus the right kind of funding which is required at every stage of the entrepreneurship, I think you can sail this world. That is what I have understood.
Absolutely.
Yes. So thank you, Shashank, for enlightening us with so many thoughts about funding, and for the audience who is viewing this video and also listening to this podcast, We are going to come up with a series on entrepreneurship where we'll be taking you through different journeys all across the globe, different experts also, consultants, investment bankers. Subscribe to this channel, and thank you for viewing us and listening to us.